blue skies cool. They seduce us, pulling us irresistibly upwards, reminding us to fly our own line, on our wings, and in life. We are the seekers, adventurers, being one with the air, feeling everything and nothing at once. That's the magic we chase. Follow the call. Find your pure, wild flight with NZ Aerosports.
Of course, I absolutely love the NZ Aerosports business model. I mean, come on. One glance at an Icarus fuck yeah sticker and you know it lines up perfectly with the fucking pilot mentality. But outside their wonderful use of colorful language and a great company vibe, there's a long list of reasons to say NZ Aerosports fuck yeah. NZ Aerosports blows me away right out of the gate as a canopy manufacturer with a bold offer. They give you 10 jumps on your brand new nylon to decide if you want to keep it, swap it out, or even return it for a refund. I mean, seriously, how incredible is that? That's like getting halfway through a prom and deciding you prefer the slightly racier date that goes down faster. Seriously, they do that. If you're not madly in love with your new canopy after 10 jumps, they'll let you swap it out for another size or model, or even get your money back. And the range of canopies they've got? Man, they've got a style canopy to fit every jumper and every situation with models you know and trust, like the Sapphire 3, the perfect choice for the beginner or intermediate canopy pilot. The Crossfire 3, when you're ready to kick it up that elliptical notch. The JFX 2, if you're looking to up your new swoop game. The Leia as the workhorse and dirtwater dirt beast. Or the Petra. The Petra cranks out crazy power and is nothing short of a record breaker. But hey, it's not always about speed either. Take the Kraken. Built as a low pack volume canopy specifically with wingsuiting in mind, she gives you all the performance you're looking for with the reliability you need that'll have you itching for that next formation, rodeo, or puffy cloud. So the equipment is top-of-the-line kick-ass stuff as you already know, but how about the team? Well, the customer service gang is there to sort you out whenever you need them. Maddie and Beto are always there to help with Jen holding the reins. They're available for you at sales@nzaerosports.com, and they've got a kick-ass live chat tool on the website if you're wanting to hit someone up right away. These are the crew you're going to want to talk to get those custom orders in. With the stock nylon, once you know what you want, they'll have that shit on a FedEx truck as soon as the credit card machine says approved and get you in the air in no time. For your custom orders, you'll be able to get a time frame for building and shipping when you design it, so get to it. And demos. They've got demos in the US available from their partner Rock Sky Market. The whole US demo fleet is there with Sapphire 3, Crossfire 3, Kraken, JFX2, and Leia canopies in a range of sizes. They also offer student and tandem demos in the US. Bottom line, every step of the way, NZ Aerosports is there to get you what you need, and I personally couldn't be happier to be teamed up with them here on Lunatic Fringe. Hell, they've even got a special offer for all you lunatic listeners out there. Just head to pages.nzaerosports.com/into the void. That's pages.nzaerosports.com/into the void and follow the instructions to register a website account with them. You'll score a discount voucher with $20 towards any purchase over $200. I mean, come on. You know you're going to shop with NZ Aerosports, so grab a little extra cash towards that buy and enjoy. The offer is good until the 31st of December, and the voucher is good for 3 months, so go register now. And now, time to get started with Lunatic Fringe Into the Void, brought to you proudly by NZ Aerosports. Fuck yeah.
Coming straight from the cockpit, it's another episode of Lunatic Fringe with the fucking pilot.
Ready, set, go. Back in the can for another edition of Lunatic Fringe Into the Void, and I see a friendly face on the other side of this monitor, so let's dive right in. Who the fuck are you, and what do you do?
My name's Regan Tetlow, and I present air sports, and I load organize, and I MC and voiceover and other things as well.
A little bit of everything. See, I'm personally going to take a shitload of pleasure in this, and I'm going to cuss as much as possible because you have to be so fucking well behaved on your show that it's great. I'm just going to unload. So first off, how the hell are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm very good.
It's been a
very
weird.
Good.
Go ahead, please. I keep stepping on you.
No, it's been a weird couple of years, eh? It's been a weird couple of years.
Oh man. I mean, you know as well as I do, doing the show that you do, it's been great for podcasting and great for interviews, but other than that, it's been pretty shit.
Yeah.
It's been tough.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, with this job, the idea was that we were going to be traveling around the world to all the major events, all the major air sports events, on site doing interviews.
Yep.
All the rest of it, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But COVID put a stop to that.
Man, it sure as hell did. And yes, we'll definitely get to it. I want to do what we normally do. And I'm kind of rehashing with a lot of the people that have been on before for those that didn't see the first interview or are trying to put stories now and match them to faces. So tell us how you kind of got started, not just in extreme sports, but of course, specifically in skydiving.
So back in 1990, so it's 32 years ago now. I was working full-time in the pub, in my hometown, Stalybridge. And for some reason, parachuting was being bandied about. It was something I'd thought about, something I'd seen a little bit. And the reason was there was a charity event. Well, a lot of charity events. There was a local girl called Mandy Turner. She was 24, I think, at the time. And she had leukemia, and it wasn't going well. And a family put together this this fundraising event to try and get a CAT scanner, a CT scanner for the local hospital. And so everybody kind of got behind it. You remember, this is before the internet, you know. How we found out, I don't know. It was through the newspapers and things. So people were doing all stuff, all charity runs or little comedy events or things to try and raise a bit of money. And I was aware that you could do a parachute jump for charity. So somehow you could do this thing and it wasn't going to cost you any money. You got people to sponsor you, people to put down, they were going to give you $10 or £10 actually, something or whatever, doing the parachute jump. So I got in the Yellow Pages and, actually I spoke to my friends in the pub. I think it was a Sunday night. We were all drinking and, no, I wasn't drinking. I was serving, of course. But they were drinking and they were buying. I said, who wants to go and jump out of a plane? Everybody, like the whole pub, like 300 people. Hey, let's go do it. So they played. And there was 4 of us in the end. Me, Mark, Kevin, and Alison. And so I got in the Yellow Pages, Parachute Centre, Parachute Schools, and I found this right away. I was in Manchester, UK. There was a place an hour south called Tilstock, the Sport Parachute Centre. So I contacted them and they sent through the forms. Trying to think how it was before the internet. They sponsored so that you're asking everybody, will you sponsor me when I jump out of a plane? £20, £10, £5. No, fuck off. Some people wouldn't do anything about it. And so I think the kind of thing was, I think the course might have been about £140 or something like that at the time, the static line round course.
Okay.
Static line to the charity. So I think we raised $3 or $4 grand or something like that. And we went down, did our training, did all the ground school, and then it was waiting to jump, and it was 5 weeks. 5 weeks later, we eventually got to jump out of the plane. But in those 5 weeks, I was there every time, driving down. It was only an hour away, meeting all these crazy people from all different age groups, all different walks of life, doctors, plumbers, bricklayers, all these people that were skydivers, It seemed very, very odd that they all got together at the weekend, and they all seemed to know each other very well, and they were very comfortable together with each other. And I felt like a really big outsider that started jumping and started to get into it a little bit.
Well, and obviously you managed to raise enough money to do something good for charity, and it led you in a very cool way to what's been a lifelong career, which is a pretty
I had no idea. I just liked it. Ricky, because I was working full-time in a pub, so I wasn't getting out much. And this place, even though it was only an hour away, the drive there was, you started to leave suburbia behind and all the buildings, and suddenly you were in the countryside, trees, country lanes, farm traffic, then you got to this place, and it was just like an oasis of fun. It was like looking behind the curtain of, this different life. Like I say, all these people, and it was, I think I spoke about this before. I felt very much like, the imposter syndrome. I thought, well, why am I coming here?
Sure.
I keep jumping out of planes. Everybody knows it's a stupid thing to do. You're going to kill yourself. Why am I pretending to be like these people? They're skydivers. I'm a barman. Why do I keep coming? And it was that all the time. And the only thing that kept me going was because it was terrifying. I was absolutely terrified every time. Hearing the plane start up. Fucking hell, man. I mean, honestly, my innards would turn out. And, sometimes I even drove there. I've actually got to the gates of the airfield and just turned around and gone home. The fear was that strong. Torture. Absolute torture, thinking, are you some kind of a freak? Why are you doing this to yourself?
Yep.
Why do you keep turning up here? And the only thing that kept me going was, two things. One, after the landing, that sense of achievement, which I think at the time I thought was a sense of sporting achievement. Actually, it's probably just relief that you're alive, masquerading as sporting achievement.
Sure.
So that sense of like having achieved something. But the other thing that kept me going, I thought, well, I had like a duality in my brain. I thought, I've got this massive fear, obviously. And it's a binary decision, isn't it? I can either stop and say, okay, I can't cope with the fear. It's too much for me. Or I can continue. And if I stop, then I had this thought. I followed the thought process through. And I thought, if I do stop, then I found my limit. I found my line in the sand.
It's a good point.
I thought, do I want that? Do I want to think I've reached my limit of what I can achieve in this, pushing myself through fear? Is that it? Is that all I've got? I thought, well, I'll do one more. I'll just do another. And I'll do another. And after about 50 jumps, I got my license and we were down at the local pub Saturday night like we always were. And I thought, I've got to tell these people, I can't masquerade any longer. I said, guys, put your drinks down. I've got something to say. And they're all like, what's this? I said, I'm absolutely terrified. I've done like 55 jumps. I'm shitting myself every single time. Can't cope. I'm absolutely, I don't know how you guys have convinced, I don't know. I mean, should I walk away? Is this the, this is the time that I'm admitting my fear. And they were like, Regan, oh man, so stupid. And I thought, yeah, they're going to tell me like you shouldn't have carried on to get to this stage, but with all this fear. You're so stupid. We're all terrified. This guy said, yeah, I've been doing it 15 years. I'm still terrified. Like, what? And this guy said, yeah, I've been doing it 60 years and I'm still terrified.
Yeah.
I said, and then it clicked. I thought, the fear is part of it. It's not like an abscess. It's not like a sore or something you've got to get rid of. It's not like an infection, the fear. It's actually part of the game.
Oh, yeah. An important part.
And I thought,
that hit me as well.
And here I am, like nine and a half. You got you too, eh? Same way.
Yeah, same way. I mean, I had these. I had a spot on the freeway where I could turn around before I hit that spot, and if I did, I could do it clear conscience and go home. But if I drove past that spot, I had to jump. That was it. That was the choice. And it kind of got to be the same thing. And I remember a higher time skydiver telling me how he fought fear all the time as well. And it clicked just like that. It was I'm supposed to be nervous. This is a good thing. And then you learn to not enjoy. I think enjoy is the wrong word, but you certainly learn to embrace that fear.
Yeah. It's that feeling at the end of the day where you're driving home or you're having drinks and stuff, and you feel like alive, don't you? That adrenaline and the sense of accomplishment. It's like, boom, come on, we've done something really good here.
Yeah.
How I didn't. I mean, the fear should have been getting there, because I'll tell you what I used to do, Ricky. And I don't think I've admitted this to many people, but it was 60 miles away from door to door. So I did the mental calculations. If I can average 60 miles an hour, right? So it was taking more than an hour all the time, because when you're on the highway, you can do 80, 90, 70, sorry, is the legal limit. You can do 70 on the highway. But then on the back roads, sometimes you get traffic, so it slows you down to 30 or 20 sometimes. For the average, you should be able to, if you can maintain an average of 60 miles an hour, you can do it in 1 hour. So that was always my thing. And I'd sit in my car before I set off with a stopwatch with my key, and I would turn the ignition and hit the start and go. And the things I would do to try and break that 1 hour. And I would start to measure, like, okay, this time I got to that junction. Next time I got to that lamppost as it hit 1 hour, and like pushing it. Man, some of the, not proud of these things I did, but some of the maneuvers on some of those country lanes to try and break 1 hour. Fighting against myself, in competition against myself, nearly killing myself. For sure. One time, there's just one bit on the A41. It goes down a steep hill. There's a roundabout at the bottom, and I've never admitted this to anybody. The brakes, we hit the roundabout, boom, and took off and bounced over to the side of in my friend's car, not in mine. Mark Davis nearly killed us both.
All to try and race your way to the drop zone. The shit that skydivers
to try and beat 1 hour.
The shit that skydivers do that almost always gets them killed has nothing to do with jumping most of the time.
Yeah.
We're
coming back. We'll be coming back from the country pub and just a few miles. And, for some reason we would climb out of the window of the car over the roof and back into the car in the other window. Oh man, it's just stupid things you do when you're, of a stupid age.
Oh my God, yes. Well, and some of us that age lasts a whole lot longer than it should. I mean, we used to watch guys, what they jokingly called street skiing on rainy days, driving up and down the runway in Cross Keys, getting out of the car on wet pavement and hanging onto the door jamb, doing 30, 40 miles an hour up the runway, dragging themselves on the pavement. I mean, come on. All just because we're bored and you're not getting that fix of that fear that we've now gotten used to and overcome in a smart way. So now we're doing stupid shit and getting the same thing.
I remember in the UK at the time, the weather was mostly crap. So we did a lot of stupid shit on the drop zone.
I've heard a few stories. So now you only stayed in the UK for so long when it came to the sport. You eventually ended up heading towards warmer climates, didn't you?
Yeah. I was. I'd left the pub, 99, and then I was up in the north of England, and I got invited to Emporia Brava in Spain with a group of other skydivers. I'd been doing four-way a lot, and that had kind of just come to an end. And so they asked me to go with them, some university jumpers, to do some one-on-one coaching and just kind of look after them a little bit. And so I did. So I went there, Emporia Brava, and it was just the right place at the right time. They were looking for somebody full-time for like a multi-role type of thing, load organizing, looking after new jumpers, people who were hanging around, basically to get more money out of the pockets of the clients.
Sure.
So if they're on their own, they might do 2 jumps and pack for themselves and then go to the pub. But, if they were with me, they might do 4 or 5 jumps and they might buy packing tickets. So, getting everybody together, making it a bit more organized and being like a front of house for the drop zone, really, because the owners were getting a bit older and they couldn't be bothered with that anymore. So to be like the front of the house, hey guys, how you just arrived? What are you doing? Do you want to do some belly? Are you doing free flying? There's the free fly team. I can hook you up there with some coaching. So yeah, it was that kind of a role. And they offered me a job. And at the time I was working in recruitment up in Newcastle. And I was 34. And I was thinking, you know what, going full-time skydiving, surely that's like a young man's job, you want to be teenage or early 20s. And I thought, do I really want to do that? Is that, like running away and joining the circus? Is it kind of giving up on real life? Is it a bit irresponsible? And I thought about it, and I went to bed that night, and I was thinking, do I want to? And then I suddenly thought, you know what? This was in the summer, and I suddenly thought it'll soon be winter, and I'll be trudging around in the centre of the north of England, in the snow, in the crap, thinking, why the hell am I not in Spain getting paid to jump out of planes? And so then when I had that thought, I thought it's an obvious decision, So I went into the meeting the next morning with the fans, and we talked it all out and when I was going to start, what I was going to do, and totally forgot about salary. And I got to the door and I went, I've not asked. I'm sorry to be a bit crass, but how much are you going to pay me? And they said, not a lot. See ya. And I thought, what? And I walked out the door and I thought, do you know what? It doesn't matter. As long as I've got enough to pay the rent and buy my food and all my jumps are covered. I thought, actually, the salary is actually irrelevant. But I did actually email them and said, yeah, but how much really is it? But that point still stands. If you want to find yourself in your life, which is your love and your passion, and you want to make it your career, well, you can make the money. But that's not the important thing. So your question shouldn't be, how much is this going to pay me? It should be, are you going to fulfill your life?
Well, and that seems to be a lot of professional skydivers kind of came to that crossroads. And a lot of us, after talking to so many people for so many years now, have come to the decision at roughly the same age. For me, it was an easy decision because, oddly enough, for me, becoming a professional skydiver was a respectable decision because I was a full-time fucking stripper at the time. So, so keeping my pants on and jumping out of airplanes was like the respectable choice. But
yes,
many people, some of the greats, Omar Al-Hijalan, tossed in a normal life to go into skydiving full time and, live the drop zone life and all that. And it really does boil down to, do you want to enjoy the majority of your life, which is that time that you spend working?
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah, it's a decision. It's very important. We're not around for a long time, 100 years maximum, and then boom, you're gone. You might as well do your utmost to enjoy it.
It goes by so fast. Well, how old are you now?
I'm currently 54, and in a couple of weeks I'll be 55.
Okay,
I'm really looking forward to being 55, Ricky. I just like the way the number looks, 55. I'm looking
right. Well, it's kind of funny. I'm sure you feel the same way. Getting older doesn't really bother me because of the lifestyles that we lead. I'm surrounded by a bunch of punk kids. Really, the only thing that changes is I have less hair and more of those stuff I do turns gray.
Yeah.
That's about it. I mean, otherwise, I'm still leading the same life that I was living in my late 20s.
Yes. I think the difference with me is my useful waking hours are less. So nothing much happens to me past 9 p.m., dude.
Yeah, I got to admit, that's true. It's a lot more lazy couch time with shitty movies that I don't remember because I'm falling asleep. So you transitioned...
when I was still...
Go ahead.
When I was still in Dubai, a friend was coming to town and he said, do you want to meet up? We'll go and get something to eat. He said, yeah. He said, like tomorrow, what about 10 o'clock? And I was in bed daytime. He said, PM. I said, at night? At night? No.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No. I'll be well asleep by then. So,
yeah,
go on,
too damn late. Well, I was just going to say, so you did the jumping thing and the load organizing thing and really with the liaison, and you were jumping as well. I know you competed some, but you also transitioned into becoming an MC, and for a lot of people, the voice of skydiving when it comes to in-person stuff, big events, and of course now air sports news. How did that come about?
Well, just after starting at Emporia Brava, that was 2004, they had an ongoing competition, the King of Swoop, on the beach, which had been going for a couple of years. So the next one was 2005, and they asked me if I would present it and see it, because I was doing a bit of DJing. Historically, I've been DJing before I was jumping out of planes. So I was used to a microphone and that type of stuff. And I was doing a bit of DJing at the drop zone. So they said, we've got this competition coming. Will you do it? Just call out the names. And said, we'll pay you €100 a day extra. Said, yes, I'll do that. So the next thing, I'm stood on the beach in my swimwear with a microphone, announcing all these swoopers, and really enjoyed it. And then we did it the next year as well. And then what happened next? That was 2006, 2007. And then it kind of went quiet a little bit. And then in 2009, so probably 2 years later, I got a message from Regan at the Drop Zone saying there's going to be this event in Dubai. They're going to put on a international parachuting championships next year. And they've asked me, because he was doing the swoop course, and so they've asked him to find an English-speaking presenter for that. And that was like the big break. So I went to Dubai then, 2010, 2011, 2012, I did 2013, 2012 was the Mondial. 2013 was the World Games in Calais, Colombia. Got sent to that. And then the wind tunnel competitions had all really just started to get going, and wind games center. So there was that I was doing. So it was around 2013, 2014, it really started to reach a height. And I was going away and doing quite a few different jobs, still working a conversation with the managers at the time. They said, Regan, how many days annual leave do you get? I said, I think it's 36, which is quite generous. Yeah. It was 36. And they said, so how many days have you been away this year? I said, I'm not exactly sure. They said, 78. I said, okay. So they said, well, we appreciate what you do, and we know, like, you're promoting the Drop Zone and stuff, but, you're on a salary, so we have to start thinking about, are you working for yourself, or are you working for us, and what do you do? And he said, actually, Curry at the time said, Regan, you need to get out of it, man. He said, this is what you need to be doing. He said, we were actually in Dubai at the time. He'd brokered the deal with the Prince, His Highness, buying the Drop Zone. So it was now Dubai owned. And he said, this is what you need. And I was like, yeah, probably after 10 years in one place, it's difficult to break out. You think This is what I should be doing. But, I'm living a dream. I'm living in Emporia Brava. I'm on the beach, jumping out of planes. Do I want to roll the dice again and try again? So I did, actually, and talking to a lot of people in Dubai, and there was a lot of potential there for presenting work, not only in air sports and parachuting, but in all other fields. MCs, you know what it's like over there in Dubai. There's events all the time, award ceremonies for this, award ceremonies for that. So I handed in my notice. I quit on the 31st of December, 2014. And it was funny, that week I got my email through from the work rotation for what I was doing the next week. I said, guys, you need to do that rotation again. Remember, I'm not here. And I was like, yeah. So I went to Dubai, and I went freelance. So presenting, I was doing load organizing up in the desert campus as well. And then they had the Dubai International Swoop League at the time. So I was presenting that too. And then all the events, 2015, 16, 17, just went really, really ballistic. My first summer was 16 weeks on the road, which felt like a lot. The next one was 22 weeks. And the next year was 28 weeks on the road. So it's more than half a year, just going from one event to the next, just literally not knowing where you were. I'd get off the plane, go down to the baggage area, and you've got to look at the screen, which shows you where your baggage is going to be, which carousel it's going to be on. So you look at where you've come from, Paris or Dubai, and I didn't know. I had to get my boarding pass out to remember where I'd left. It sounds stupid, doesn't it? And then I'll be at events saying, a very good morning, welcome to the International Sailplane Championships here in Switzerland. And they'll be like, Kurt, Regan, you're in Poland. Oh, shit. Yeah. Switzerland was last week, wasn't it? Welcome to Poland for the ballooning chat. No, it's not ballooning. It's not ballooning. It's sailplane now. What we're doing, what is it? You're at the 14th International Sailplane Championships in Poland. Right, okay. Yeah. Gliders, Poland, 14th. Okay.
Well, and
everything.
All the different events that you've done. I mean, you told me about having to go, and you were doing announcing for a balloon race, which for me instantly sounds hilarious, because how much is there to talk about what's going on with the fucking balloon race, but how cool that had turned out to be, all these different things that you have done. And then it even led to, of all things, an acting career.
Yeah, that's a crazy one, isn't it? So when I got to Dubai, a few of the agents I was working with said, look, don't just consider yourself to be an air sports presenter. You know, you've got to be open to do, you know, the trick to work in Dubai is never say no to anything. So great. So I was doing this, doing all sorts of different promotional work. And this one woman that I'd done one job for, I can't remember what I'd done. Oh yeah, I'd gone to Egypt. I was top secret. I was Barney the dinosaur. I was Barney the dinosaur for 2 weeks in Egypt. So they had me at this 5-star hotel, and 3 nights a week. No, sorry, 3 times a night. I was on stage as Barney, fully dressed up as Barney, doing the dancing. Photo opportunity for the kids, and the hotel was used for. All the cabin crew, all the flight attendants were there all the time. And so I was on the pool one day, so my days were free, and all these flight attendants were there, and we got chatting away. I said, so what do you do? I said, part of the entertainment. I said, oh, what entertainment? I said, part of the children's entertainment. I said, children's entertainment, what do you do? I said, I can't tell you. They went, are you fucking Barney? I said, yeah, but don't tell anyone. And so that night I was on stage and they were running up, we were like, hey.
I love it.
But it was violent. It was vicious. Dean, you won't believe it. These kids. So you've got 2 chaperones on either side, and they've got one bringing the kids on, photo, and the other chaperone takes them off. And these kids are with you for like 10 seconds. And they're reaching inside, they've got all of the glove, they're trying to break your fingers. Trying to break your finger back, they're kicking your shins. Little bastards.
I wouldn't last 5 minutes.
Oh, man. And you're in this suit and you can't really do much. And there's people coming up to you with babies and trying to put a baby in your arms, which you've got no grip. It's just like fur. And you're not allowed to speak when you're in the suit. So you're trying to say, because if they let go that baby, it's going to fall and crash to the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, there was quite a few intense moments.
That would make international news if you got I forget the baby dropping. You got the shits in a Barney costume.
Yeah, well, I was eating the, you know, because it was all buffet food, and I had some really tense moments because I was on stage for 20 minutes, so I had to try and make sure that I was good to go before those 20 minutes, and if not, hold on for dear life until the end of that session.
Oh my Lord. Well, you did do a legitimate piece of acting.
So the story was, how did I get into acting? So, I was doing this with this woman, and then so she got in touch. Can you act? Because there's this not Snow White, Prince Charming stage show, and this was Wednesday, so it's on Friday. So what? So she sent through the script on WhatsApp, and I learned it the best I could, did the gig, we had a great laugh, and then that started to open up to a lot more acting jobs. And then a few different commercials, TVCs came through from another company in Dubai, and I got this one through, and I just assumed it was a commercial. I went for the audition, and I got the part, and it was only after I got the part I realised it was for a movie. And so I played this role as a British MC, and in this Nigerian movie called The Wedding Party 2. And it's the biggest grossing Nigerian movie ever. I'm known in Nigeria.
That's fucking wonderful. Well,
in fact, every time I see somebody who looks like they might be from Nigeria, I always say to them, do you know when people get stalked by their fans? Well, I stalk the fans. So if I see somebody who looks like they might be from Nigeria, I say, excuse me, you're not from Nigeria, man. They say, yes. I said, have you seen The Wedding Party 2? They say, yeah. I said, they go, oh, you're the British MC. I am.
That's the picture. They did the picture of that show. I think you're sitting down and you've got a rather intense look like you're fighting with somebody. Is that the picture, the poster for the movie? Yeah. All right.
Yeah. It was a fight. This guy's a famous, he's a famous stand-up comedian in Nigeria. And he really had me in a headlock, and he was pushing. He was being a bit of the big I am, you know. So I had to kind of get a few elbows into the ribs a couple of times. 5 takes. Yeah, it was a bit intense. But it looks good on camera because
it looked great.
It was real.
It looked great. Well, and then of course this all segues up to the fact that you ended up doing. Now you've been doing it for quite a while now, over 100 episodes, right? With Air Sports News.
We're coming up to the 100th episode. We're in the 10th season, and there's 10 episodes per season. So actually tomorrow, I'll be recording season 10, episode 5.
Nice.
And so that came about. I saw an advert on Instagram from this company called Air Sports Promotion, based in Poland, and they were looking for a presenter for Air Sports. And my first thought was, what the fuck are they doing advertising this on Instagram?
Yeah.
You know, why are they not contacting me directly?
Right.
And so anyway, I sent them a message, and I said, hi, I'm Regan Tetlow, and this is what I've done. I said, okay, well, we're interested, we'd like to meet. And they had an air show happening in Poland like 3 or 4 weeks later than that. So they took me to that. They flew me there. And then there was a balloon European Championships on Mallorca, the island of Mallorca, and they took me there for that. And then they offered me a full-time position. And we were going to be going around the world, like I said earlier, to all the major air sports events, reporting from them. This was March 2020, early March 2020. I signed the contract and I flew back to Dubai and started to hear about this COVID situation, which was kicking off. And I'd just been to an audition for a film and I was going back to the apartment. This was the 12th of March. And I suddenly realized that there was a high potential because I could see different airports and countries were shutting down. I thought there's a high potential here. I'm going to get trapped in Dubai for the summer. And my girlfriend, Lise, was in Montreal. That's where she lives at the time. And I thought, I've got to get out of here. I've got to get to Lise, or else I'll never see her. And I thought the only way I'm going to do this is if I book a flight now for tonight. So I got on my phone and I booked a flight. 5 hours later, leaving Dubai and hearing more and more about airports shutting down everywhere. I wasn't even sure if I was going to get out of Dubai. I did. I had to transfer through Amsterdam. Wasn't sure if I was going to get through Amsterdam. And then I wasn't sure if they were going to let me into Canada. And they did. And 2 days. So I was so lucky. And so then I'm in Montreal with Lise and expecting that I'm going to get a call from this new job. And it's going to be bad news because there's no more air sports happening anywhere in the world.
Sure.
And I got the call. And there's the boss. He flies private jets, so he's passionate in air sports. There's Chris. He writes a show and he's the editor, and he's from Polish TV. And there's me. So we had a 3-way call just like this. We said, what we're going to do, and somehow we came up with the idea of doing a weekly news show, and that's what we started. We'd try and get interviews and guests and do a roundup of what's been happening around the world in air sports. And that's what we've done 2 years later. Here we are still doing it. And we've branched out now. We've done a few gigs out in the real world. So it's all coming together. Just had 5 weeks in Qatar. That was an experience. Wow.
Nice.
5 weeks in Qatar.
Well,
we had the world.
I was just going to say, the cool thing is because you've now gotten yourself really well established because of the internet presence in the show, they must be lining up to have you and Air Sports News in actual events.
Yes, it's starting to. We've got for this year coming up, we've got the Gordon Bennett gas balloon race. That's the biggest FAI championships. That's going to be in September. And then there's a glider championships in May. This is breaking news. I've just been invited to the skydiving symposium in Poland in March. We're going to be doing that. Lots of other events being talked about now. So it's really starting to come back again. We're still at that stage where travel is not fully open. In fact, I should have been in Seville for the Christmas boogie. I should have been organising there. And that was right when this Omicron had its full power and nobody knew how strong it was going to be.
Right.
And I just got back from Qatar and it looked like places were starting to close down again. And so I took a decision that I wasn't going to go to Seville, which broke my heart. It's one of my favourite places. But in 10 weeks, I'll be in Costa Rica for the boogie there. I'll be organising at that with Rich Grimm's Tsunami Skydivers. So I'm looking forward to being there.
Nice. There's going to be some amazing people out there. I know Omar Al-Hijalan's going to be out that way. I think Airwax is going to be there, if I'm not mistaken. So some fucking rock stars showing up for that movie. Yeah. It'll be pretty amazing. Yeah. Now, one of the thing I wanted to mention is the stuff you've got sitting right behind you. Man, you are a multi-talented son of a bitch, because you got these 3 paintings sitting behind you now. As I assume that they just happened to be there when we started this. You've been painting your happy ass off. Yeah.
That's kind of started as we got into the pandemic, because my first job from school was a commercial artist. Wow. So when I was 16, I left school at 16, and I found myself working in an advertising firm just before Apple Macs broke out. So we were using ink and pens and letraset and spray paste. That was my first job. And I kind of not been near it for a very, very long time. And my girlfriend's daughter, she loves art. She's painting all the time. And at one moment of boredom, I thought I'll go on Amazon and buy her some art supplies. So I was flicking through Amazon, and I was buying her some paints and buying her some brushes. And I thought, these look really cool. I thought, I wonder if I should buy some for myself. You know, I've got time on my hands. Maybe I should start painting it. And we had one spare canvas in the apartment. And I said, you know, are we using that? Can I have that one? So I took it and I did an abstract on it. Just put this abstract together. And I put it on Facebook, and people were going crazy. Like, oh, we love it, we love it, we love it. And somebody wanted to buy it. So I had no idea about how that was going to work, because they were in Europe and I was in Canada. So I figured it out, and worked out a price. I figured out how to make a box and ship it to this person. So I thought, I'll paint another one. So I painted another, and another, and another. And here we are, like over 100 paintings later.
I was going to say,
a bit of a side hustle.
I was going to say, how many Tetlows are out there now?
Yeah.
They're all
just over
numbered and signed, I would hope. Well,
I have not numbered them, and actually, I forgot to sign a couple of them. Just it was at a stage that I was doing that many. I was going, taking like 2 a day to the post office, so it was a bit of a production line. And there is 2 out there that I forgot to sign. I'm sorry to say. And one's in Chicago. And
what you're gonna
person. The other one is Texas, I think.
You're gonna have to make it to Chicago and Texas to sign them. That way, they're not battling over whether or not it's a fake Tetlow or not.
Exactly. Right.
So as we wrap things up, as always, I want you to tell everybody how they track you, how they find out what events you're going to be in, and of course, how they follow Air Sports News and everything that you guys got coming up.
All right. So on all the socials, I'm Regan Tetlow. It's just my name, ReganTetlow. Air Sports News is part of Air Sports Promotion. So you can follow us on Facebook, Air Sports Promotion, and on YouTube as well. We have a new show every Wednesday, 2000 UTC, which is Universal Time, the same as Greenwich Mean Time. That's when it goes live. And we have 2 headline interviews every week. And just after this, I'm going to be interviewing James Lee Barry from Drop Zone Marketing. He's going to be a good guest. You should get him on your show as well.
Absolutely.
That's going to be happening. Yeah, James. So you're doing great as well. Loving your stuff, loving your content.
Been having an absolute blast.
Your studio's looking good as well.
Right. I know it. What's that?
Have you got the? Is that the Shure SM7B?
Yes, it is. Oh yeah.
The number one.
Sexy.
Of course, Joe Rogan. Rogan loves it.
People ask me, they're like, so when did you learn how to do all this stuff with setting up a studio? And I'm like, learn. I Googled, what does Joe Rogan use? And I bought all that shit. So, no, I've had a lot of fun putting the studio together. The pandemic did the same for me. I had a whole lot of time on my hands to try and get it up to speed so that I could do decent interviews. And luckily for both you and I, technology, it is a point where we can do this long distance, because 10 years ago, this wasn't possible.
No.
So amazing,
in fact,
right?
We moved we've just moved to Toronto. We've got this new apartment here, and there's a storage room, which is perfect for a studio.
Oh, yes.
So there's a bit of a psychological battle going on right now between me and Lee about whether it's going to be my man cave studio or whether it's going to be the storage room. So
luckily,
watch this space.
Luckily, I won that battle because this is supposed to be the maid's room, and it's just basically an oversized closet in the apartment, and I took it over and built it into the studio, and yeah, this is where I basically keep all of my crap.
It's not the bathroom anymore, then?
It's not in the bathroom. No, it's in a proper room. I've got the studio's got its own bathroom and everything.
Fantastic. It looks really nice.
Yeah, really man. Nice. It's turned out good. Well, next time you're around, we're going to have to get you live and in person. Reagan.
Absolutely, man. It's good to see you.
Yes, yeah. Regan, thank you so much. As always, I appreciate you taking the time, and we'll keep up and speak to you soon.
Take care, brother. Thanks very much.
And there you have it. Another episode of Lunatic Fringe Into the Void, brought to you as always by, and say it with me, fuck yeah, NZ Aerosports. Head to nzaerosports.com. By Pussfoot. That's right, head to pussfoot.com, the extreme sports collective, and check out everything they've got to offer. By summitparachutesystems.com. Jarrett Martin and the family cranking out amazing pilot rigs, as well as incredible rigging courses. And now joining the Lunatic team, it's the one and only Tony Suits. You know him, you love him. Head to tonysuit.com. Check out all the amazing standards, as well as the new incredible signature line they've got going on. And as for us, the Lunatic Fringe is now on YouTube. That's right, you're going to have the chance to put faces to the audio by heading to youtube.com and looking up the Lunatic Fringe podcast. It's easy. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, check out all the amazing videos from the previous guests that we've had, as well as new and upcoming interviews on video. As always, I am the fucking pilot. Head to thefuckingpilot.net or theprincesspilot.com. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time around.
Get on the floor, get on the floor.